You're gonna be that girl in 2025 when you do this. And when I say every single guy wants to marry me because I embody it.
Focus, 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 focus. Fuck it all, just focus.
Hey guys, today I want to talk about that girl. Who is she? And why does everyone want to be her? You know who I'm talking about. The perfect, polished, pink Pilates girl who is healthy, fit, beautiful, and rich, and lives in an aesthetic apartment, fully decked out with shiny and new aesthetic props, including the latest beauty products or the trendiest clothes. She's probably had a lot of accomplishments, she's very successful, and now she gets to live a life of leisure and of luxury, and she's probably going to expensive gyms or Pilates classes, buying organic groceries, shopping for home goods, ceremonial grade matcha, and then winds down by taking an everything shower with luxurious skin and bath care products, and probably with a diptych candle lit somewhere. Was that too specific? These are the type of girls who I love and have me in a chokehold because that's exactly how I want to live. But that doesn't really make me a special little snowflake, you know? I think everyone wants this lifestyle. And it's evident with the amount of likes they get on these type of videos. I know that it's really unrealistic to want to live the life of an influencer because let's face it, the reality is that their lifestyle is actually really rare and expensive, and it's not easy to achieve. Not everyone can have this lifestyle, and that's part of what makes it so desirable. It's extremely expensive to regularly buy fancy drinks from cafes, to live in a brand new apartment, to keep up with the latest fashion and beauty trends, and to attend aesthetic fitness centers. On top of having the leisure and the time to do all of these things, spending a huge amount of time on self care like morning shed or 20-step skincare routine. So I already have a whole video talking about how a lot of us are unaware of how these type of videos that influencers make can be really misleading and how it can influence us to literally go broke, to buy into this facade that they're selling us when they make it seem so normal to spend money this way and live this type of luxurious lifestyle. So you can watch this video if you're interested, but if you're not going to watch that video, I'll just summarize it for you. One of the things that I mentioned in this video is that this aesthetic lifestyle is performative. This lifestyle isn't real even to influencers. They're over here taking multiple takes and perfecting the lighting and angle when they're filming these videos, and they're pretty much selling us a perfect aesthetic lifestyle while also kind of hinting that it's achievable for us too if we just do what they do and buy what they buy and own what they own. And I think a lot of us are really impressionable on the internet, especially because we're constantly giving our attention away, focusing on our screens and what's going on the internet rather than spending our own attention on ourselves. So we don't really notice when like these TikToks and Instagram reels are changing our brain chemistry and convincing us to buy and buy and buy, just because they gaslighted us into thinking that this is the normal thing to do. The fact is, it's easier to do what we're being told to do rather than sit down and ask ourselves what we think is right and wrong. We also spend so much time on the internet, and if you're anything like me, you're probably spending more time with social media than you are with your family and friends. Having said that, I don't think we can deny that social media has a huge chokehold on us and such a huge influence, and especially because we don't notice it at all. Social media addiction is like a whole can of worms in and of itself, and I can go on and on about this forever, but specifically for today's video, I wanted to talk a little bit more about the psychological side, about why we feel like we have to be that girl and why we feel so compelled to live life like an influencer. And when I say compelled, I mean like
compelled.
like I see some of you with like bank balance under $5,000 and you're out here and you want to be that girl. And some of you want to be that girl so badly, you'll go into credit card debt, which is like really bad and my heart goes out to you. But especially if this is you, I need you to be sat right now. Baby girl, I'm going to introduce you to someone. This is Abraham Maslow. Okay, hear me out. So he created this thing called Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And if you don't know what it is, it's like a pyramid. and it represents the levels of human needs. If you meet all the basic needs, then you kind of like level up and then you have a different set of needs. So on the very bottom level, level 1, you have physiological needs. That's air, water, food, shelter, sleep. Basically, if you're born healthy without disease or dysfunction, you already satisfy these needs and you can level up to number 2, safety needs. So that's personal security, employment, resources, health. So you have a job, you have a roof over your head, you can afford food to eat, you're good. Next, level 3, love and belonging. So that's friendship, intimacy, family, sense of connection. So if you talk to someone, you have a friend, you have coworkers, you have family or someone to talk to, and you're not completely isolated in like a field in the middle of nowhere living your life under a rock, then you have this need met as well. You've learned how to socialize, and if you need things, you can always ask someone else for help. Next, we have level 4, where I feel like if you are privileged enough, like myself, to have a roof over your head, to have a belly full of food, then you're probably gonna be at this level here. So that is level 4 self esteem, which includes respect, self esteem, status, recognition, confidence, and achievement. And then on the highest level, self actualization. That's the desire to become the best that one can be. You're a self awareness queen, and you're looking to experience purpose, meaning, and inner potential. Right? So if you're watching this, chances are you're gonna be level 3, 4, 5, somewhere around there, which is a very privileged place to be, by the way. And I feel like some of us forget that. But going back to our $1,000,000 question, I think our answer lies mostly on level 4 because when I ask myself, why do I have to be that girl? It's probably 30% I want self improvement and 70% I want to flex on these. I'm not knocking on that girl videos because I think there's a lot of positive elements to it. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that later because they are success for a reason. And I do think a lot of them can be motivational and very positive. But for the most part, and maybe this is just me, I don't know if you guys are like better human beings than me and can't relate to me doing mental gymnastics to protect my ego. But just in case this resonates with someone out there, I'm going to expose myself and just be really honest with you guys. I just want people to think that I'm doing well, bro. Like I want people to think highly of me and respect me and think that I'm the okay? I want my haters to know that I'm winning and that they're losing. And that's why I bought the Lululemon Define crop jacket, jelly cats, and so many other things, okay? I bought these things so that I could assert my dominance on my haters and teach them a lesson that I'm up. I'm up, you're down, I'm up. And then, of course, like, I'm never going to mention or show them how I'm actually depleting my own financial health and well being. We can just act like that part doesn't exist, okay? That's how things work on social media. And so, the reason I brought up this diagram is to show this urge to flex is genuinely so strong that it's a fundamental human need. I know for a fact that you at least know one person in your life that is living beyond their means to flex, and they genuinely just can't stand having less or being perceived as less than others. Because statistically, the number of people who can afford to drive luxury cars and own luxury apartments, regularly shop and have leisure time for expensive hobbies is extremely low. Yet on social media, it kind of seems like everyone has this lifestyle, not just influencers. Like I'm always on my Instagram watching people I know in real life who have like regular jobs and they're eating at like the fanciest restaurants every week, or they're always out doing like expensive day trips, which like no hate on you. Of course, you should enjoy your life too, right? Like I feel like there's some people that genuinely do those things to enjoy their life. Like once in a while you go out and do things and you spend a little money, whatever. But there are some people you just know that they're kind of being performative. Like they feel compelled to do all these expensive activities and they have to post it to let everyone know like that's what they're up to. And I also know for sure that some of these people cannot afford these activities or this type of lifestyle, but they're just always doing it and it's kind of not adding up. It's kind of not making sense. But obviously, no one's going to admit that. So I wanted to make this video to let you know that if you are someone who participates in overspending, to keep up with status, to keep up with how people perceive you, that is a very valid human response. And I've been there myself. A lot of people have been there as well. So you're not alone. But I also wanted to make this video to de-influence you so you can kind of decide whether or not you want to keep living your life for other people. So let's talk about it. Why should we not care about how we look to others? I feel silly even asking that question because, like, of course, we shouldn't care what people think, okay? But you can't say that without caring just like at least a teeny tiny bit. Like, don't make me pull out that pyramid again. We care. We care what other people think, whether we admit it or not. We care at least a little bit, all right? But don't worry, I'm here to help you. I'm going to de-influence you a little bit so you can make better decisions for yourself and not live for other people, okay, sis? So here are the facts. First of all, the version of you that other people created in their head does not exist. And what I mean by that is that you are just a made-up side character in their head. And that character is not really you, okay? That character is someone that they made up. They have a perception of you, so they take whatever good impression of you or bad impression of you. And maybe it's true, maybe it's not, right? But it's not really up for you to decide how people want to perceive you. Even if you were, let's say, the perfect person, which nobody is perfect, but let's say even if you are a perfect person, you do everything right, there will still be someone out there who will have something to say about you, all right? Who will still have something to criticize you because that's just how people are. And I'll give you guys an example. The other day, I saw this video of this YouTuber who has a very successful coaching business. She built multi-million-dollar business and then she posted a video saying like, oh, hey guys, like I got this camera. And then someone in her comment section was like, oh, why did you get such a cheap camera? If you're a millionaire, you must not be doing that good. Bro, like what? Just because you're a millionaire doesn't mean you have to buy like a $50,000 camera. This is proof that you can't convince anyone anything. Like you really just have to worry about yourself and no one else because people will believe like whatever they want to. Girl, like you know, like those people in the comment section is not the clowns. The actual clown is us. Us. We're the ones trying to convince people on one thing when they're dedicated to thinking otherwise. We are worried about all the wrong things, okay? We're worried about what this girl or coworker, whatever, is thinking about us. We're thinking about what our ops are thinking about us. But have you ever thought about what about when you're 40? Because a lot of the decisions we're making now is going to affect us in our 40s. Guess what? Our ops is probably not going to be in your life when you are 40. So the same way that you buy expensive stuff to make other people think that you can afford it, that you have your life together, there are people out there who'll just make up lies. They'll make up rumors, they'll do whatever it takes to put you down to protect their own ego and feel a little more put together themselves. So in my opinion, it's not really worth wasting your hard-earned money and efforts trying to convince people on one thing when they're so dedicated to thinking something else. Which leads me to my next point, which is every decision you make will affect you in the future. I don't mean just big decisions like what degree to get or moving to a new country, but I mean more like little decisions that add up over time. My mom always has this expression in Chinese. There's no way to translate it nicely, but it's just something along the lines of don't put caca in your cake and then act surprised when there is caca in your cake. Or in other words, don't be surprised of the consequences of your own actions. So if you can imagine your life is a novel, of course, you're the main character. The first beginning of the book will eventually lead to the later parts of the book. Your chapter 20s will have an effect on your chapter 70s. So your choice of constantly buying small luxury treats that maybe you shouldn't be buying, but they're small. Like blind boxes, $7 matcha, lip balm. They add up over time and they might deplete your finances a lot more than you think. Like, it's not a big deal to skip your workout today and eat Burger King, but consistently over time, you keep skipping your workouts and you keep eating Burger King, that'll eventually lead you to poor health and mobility when you're older. But on the other hand, if you eat healthy and you work out very regularly for years and years and years, you're probably going to be fit and probably have a lot less health complications. The reality is that life is long and we don't really think about that. And there's a lot of repetition. So one small decision might not seem significant, but it's the repetition of it that leads up to like something big. And that can be good or bad. Like, you can eat Burger King every day and see what happens to your body. You can invest $100 every month into TFSA if you're not really into investing. But over time, like, that's gonna add up to something big. And like, I always get a lot of you in the comments saying, even if I don't buy my $7 coffees, I'm still not gonna be able to buy that house. But it's not really about the coffee, it's about the discipline. If you're willing to buy the $7 coffee all the time, what other little treats are you buying for yourself? It's those habits and also those mindsets that really make the difference. If you can't save for one very little thing, you probably can't save for a very big thing. And I'm not saying stop buying things, don't go out. I'm not going to police how you spend your money, okay, girls? I'm just saying that times are tough right now, and I feel like it's already hard to make more money. So the easier way to have money is to just not spend everything we have. I think we could all get a little bit better at saving our money. So you can still, of course, enjoy your life and enjoy the money you make. But just be a little bit more aware that you're spending your money for good reasons and not for silly ones like protecting your ego or impressing other people. Protecting our ego can get so expensive. Doing self-work and self-development, learning self-awareness can save you so much freaking money. And I want to talk a little bit about the good side of That Girl videos and why I personally like those type of videos so much. And that's because a lot of them actually promote discipline and health and are very motivational and encouraging. So I do really like that aspect because, like I said, a lot of these girls have some type of success, like they've built something and they've done a lot of work to get where they are. So a lot of their videos do have good messages. Consumerism, aesthetic items aside, they do have very good messages. And to add on to that, I think this is something that isn't talked about enough, but I think everyone should create their own version of that girl. Like I said, I feel like a lot of us don't know ourselves very well, and constantly scrolling the internet, watching other people tell us how to live, that doesn't help. It's a lot easier to follow other people, do what they do, and do what they tell us to do, rather than sit there by yourself in your own thoughts and do the hard work of figuring out yourself, like, who am I? What do I like? What do I want? And unfortunately, the only way we can do that is to log off. Spend a little bit of time with yourself, reconnect with your hobbies, find out what you like and what you don't like, and what you're good at. I feel like when I'm offline and there's like no distractions, there's no voices, there's no images, it's just me and my thoughts, I have a lot of time to kind of like process my thoughts and my feelings and ask myself, like, why do I think this way or why do I feel this way? And to find the answers to those questions, it raises your awareness a lot. And then you start to understand yourself a lot better. And doing that is very important so you can shape your own identity and kind of create your own version of that girl. So you don't have to be following what everyone else does and what everyone tells you to do. You can figure out what you want and you only follow what's good for you. And that way, you know what's good for you. You won't listen to what everyone else has to say anymore. They're just noise. You know what you want. You can laser focus. You can zone in on that goal and make it happen for you. And so I'm going to lead by example and tell you guys what my version of that girl is. So I'm already quite aware that I don't really know who I am or what I want. And I asked myself, what would 90-year-old Xiao want? Because I feel like I don't know what I want now, but I can imagine what my 90-year-old self would want. current me, I want to be a successful, rich billionaire before 30, living in a mansion and driving a Lambo. But I don't think 9-year-old me would care about the Lambo. And she would probably care more about living a full and long, healthy life and want to spend lots of quality time with family and loved ones and want them to be happy and free of stress as well. Current me wants to lay in bed and watch K-dramas and laugh at funny TikToks all day. But 90-year-old me would not want to have wasted her life scrolling TikToks. So if I want to be the it girl for my 90-year-old self, then that would mean I would have to level up myself as much as I can to the best of my ability, and that I should spend my time hanging out with family and making memories with them rather than worrying about what my ops are thinking and how my outfit is cuter than my ops. And also, like, being an e-girl, like, yeah, I paid a lot of money and stuff, but I didn't like my audience and I didn't like the community that I built. There was no sense of purpose. So I also created this YouTube channel to talk about things that I care about and I feel like could help other people. Sometimes I put out a video and it gets like no views, but I would still rather do this than make a ton of money building a community that I hate and I don't care about. So I feel like the way I'm living now is also aligned with what 90-year-old Grandma Xiao would like. But I am a firm believer that if you bring value to the world, money will come with it. So who knows? Maybe one day I can have everything I want plus a Lambo, hopefully before I'm 90. In conclusion, you do not have to be that girl for other people. And more importantly, you don't have to go broke to be that girl. I feel like the goal in doing this, in impressing other people and living a perfect life, is to be happy. But ironically, approval from other people's isn't really going to give us that. Personally, I think you would be a lot happier if you lived in a way that aligns with your values and live a life that you like to live and not a life that other people tell you should like to live. Once we really break down what it means to be that girl in terms of our own definition, I feel like it's a good starting point. And from there, you can kind of figure out what types of little things you can do to become your own version of that girl. So that girl to me is very disciplined. She works out even on days she doesn't want to. And so to create that in my own life, I do whatever it takes. I make it easy for myself to work out. For me, that means working out right here in this room on my floor. My version of workout is not very glamorous, but it gets the job done. And I just lay down a yoga mat, put on a little Pilates YouTube video, and I get my workout done quick and for free, and I don't have to go anywhere. I make it as easy as possible for myself to work out. And I kind of apply that to all other areas of my life. That girl to me wakes up early. So I get up early in the morning, and my reward for myself for doing that, for getting out of bed, is I get to drink a coffee. If I get up before a certain time, and if I get up past that time, I don't get that coffee. That girl to me is very polished, very presentable, and pretty. And yes, like I can invest into my looks, but that doesn't mean that I have to spend a whole lot of money on my looks. And I will spend time. So I do my own nails at home. I do dermaplaning. And there's a whole lot of stuff that you can either learn yourself or you can do at home, and it doesn't cost like a lot of money. There's a lot of video tutorials out there. There's a lot of these things that the it girls, that girls do that we like, but they do it the upscale, luxurious way. They don't realize that a lot of these things you can do at very low cost and even do it yourself at home. And at the end of the day, like the most important thing for me, the reason I want to be that girl in the first place is to feel good about myself and to be happy. So that's why I brought up the whole what would 90-year-old Grandma Sha want? If you were living your last day on earth, like what would you regret most spending your time on? You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, if this were my last day on earth, I would have wanted to live my life fully, maximize my life, not have any regrets, not have any what if, And I feel like a lot of us kind of let life pass us by, especially when you're not aware. When you're always looking at someone else, you're not really enjoying what's already in front of you. And I see a lot of people, myself included, who participate in flexing culture and doing things, buying things just to show off to other people. When at the end of the day, it doesn't truly bring us happiness for ourselves. And these aren't things that I ever hear in conversations, which makes sense because who wants to admit that they strive to be better than everyone else? Who wants to admit that they crave to be validated by others? Even though it is a human feeling and everyone experiences it, I guess it comes off kind of icky if you say it out loud and admit it. But yeah, that's everything I have for you guys today. I know we all want to be the best or better than other people, but when we compare ourselves to others, there's always someone out there that's better, prettier, richer, whatever. You'll always be chasing and in competition. And that kind of just like makes a whole negative cycle of emotions for yourself. Like the other person might not even feel these emotions and it's just, one sided for you. And you're really just like wasting your emotions and your energy that way. I know you want to be the main character, but baby girl, you are stuck with yourself for the rest of your life. So it really doesn't get more main character than that. We have our whole lives to do great things and to figure things out. And it's kind of crazy to think that we have to have it all together in our 20s and 30s. Everyone is on their own timeline and journey and writing their own stories, and good things take time. So if you have some extra time now, leave a comment down below and let me know your thoughts on this topic, and make sure to subscribe for more. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!